Hello, YouTube gamers. This is Aero from N2 Mobile Games, bringing you some more Clash Royale. We have gone through a major patch phase, and I am in the middle of a deck shuffle right now. I played some yesterday. The problems I'm having with my decks right now is I can play them for, I guess, a period of time, maybe like a couple hours, and then I discover huge, gigantic, glaring flaws with them that, start to pop up, because who would have thought? Everybody's playing different stuff, and quite honestly, it takes a while to cycle through a deck to really get, your hold on it. I have basically gone to a third deck, which isn't surprising to me, honestly, at this point, because I said, you know what, screw it. I'm just going to try some other stuff out. I have noticed that I really like my Dark Prince, I really like my Hog Rider, I really like my Spirit Goblin, and I really like Freeze and Poison. And so, with the... basically, with what I've been going up against, I need a couple of things, essentially. I need a real ground presence, which I'm relying on Witch to give me at least some of that. Which is kind of like a combo spawner caster, which is a really weird thing, honestly, which is, like from like the first arena, honestly, or the basically the prologue arena, and, so pretty much everybody probably has access to her. Mine is level 3. That took some doing, quite honestly. Witch cards have never been easy for me to pick up. And the higher level your witch is, the higher level the skeleton she spawns are. And that is our main concern. So I'm basically cheating and avoiding using like the 2-cost goblins or the 1-cost skeletons by basically using a witch. Now, mind you, that means that I have to wait for 5-cost to get them out. So I can't really use her for defense in the same capacity as I use others. That's kind of where the rest of the deck kind of comes in. I can slow things down with a 3-cost cannon. I can slow things down tremendously, honestly, with like Dark Prince. He's really good for being a big speed bump. And I'm also noticing that Dark Prince and Witch have really good synergy because, quite honestly, if you let all those skeletons that the Witch is spawning out just die mercilessly, like no problems asked, then she's not, I don't know, she doesn't have nearly the same efficiency as when you throw her behind something like a Dark Prince or a real tanking unit, where all of a sudden these units have the potential to actually do tower damage, fight stuff down. And what I am noticing is that people are playing Royal Giant, and I'm playing Witch against Royal Giant, and the Witch eats the Royal Giant pretty hard. He's still going to get 4 tower shots in. That's a pretty solid amount of damage, don't get me wrong. But so long as he's not completely being bodyguarded, the Witch comes out of it basically completely unscathed, and then I basically have a mobile spawner deck that's going at my enemy as basically a counter push. Anyway, I've named this Team Cylinder Hats because both the Dark Prince and the Witch have these hilarious cylindrical hats. Don't get me wrong, that's totally a design choice, because they're like, put a cylinder on the top of it and call it a day. We don't need any more detail than that. And I'm totally cool with it, because quite honestly, both of their hats make me laugh a little bit when I look at them, and because they're really good cards, and surprisingly, they work pretty well together. So whether or not this was a design choice or just some sort of silly quirk that came out of it, I'll take it. Team Cylinder Hats on board, we're going with it. Oh, also, I get to open this up. Give me all the good things, please. Fire Spirits. So, I'm loving the fact that there are basically common cards and rare cards to upgrade for XP. I'm real close to level 9, comparatively where I was maybe the week before this patch. Don't get me wrong, they're giving me a lot of gold. I'm getting to upgrade a lot of cards, but cheap cards to upgrade, that's always a nice way to start. We will do the cheapies. I'm sure Giant Chest will be unlocked tomorrow. I'll just basically go to bed and let it do its thing, and we'll have fun. Oh, awesome! So, Hanno is who just joined. Oh, that totally is you, Hanno. Excellent. So, that's great. As always, my clan is the best. The end. Like, it doesn't matter about trophy count. It matters the fact that I have people who actually throw cards, and that makes them easily the best. They also have some sassy jib, and they usually put out some pretty good commentation for me as well in my live comments. So I've got a stand-up clan, honestly. I cannot say anything more about how great they are because I'll just be there all day talking about how great my clan is. Inferno Tower, might as well not waste the gobs. Oh, who would have thought? You can do at least a little bit of damage on that. Hog Rider, not exactly a good reason to throw a Witch. It's more like I don't have anything that's really coming at me. They use Zap on me. I'm noticing more and more so that Zap is very common because people have over-leveled Zap. I'm not like, OMG, that's cheats. I'm just like, wow, that super kind of sucks, because with over-leveled Zap, you can do things like just kill, like, goblins and skeletons like that. You don't stun them, you just straight kill them. Same thing with, like, the minions. Oh, God. Woo, double structures. I'm having a good time. We're gonna totally poison that. And I like this side better. The end. So, poison, poison, poison. Hog Rider will go out right now. We'll see if he gets any traction. That would be sweet. Nope. Inferno Tower, and oh my god. Okay, so they're an amazing defensive deck. I mean, what's next? Are we getting Mortar, Royal Giant? What are we waiting on here for, really? Anyway, we're gonna wait for that to touch down, and then we're gonna throw out a Witch. So, like, they have 3 defensive structures and 2 spells. I mean, that means they literally only have 3 actual units. That's kind of ridiculous. Oh, look, it's barbarians. Shocker. We're gonna throw down poison. Mostly because if they're going to keep rocketing me, I honestly... And they're just going to sit on their side of the world. Don't get me wrong. This is all this deck is going to try to do. And then at the last minute, they're going to try to rocket and push out some extra damage. And they're going to be like, hee hee hee, look at me. So we've already seen this before. This is nothing new. This existed before the patch. It's basically they're just going to sit behind their towers. And, wow, I think he did miss that. That is very impressive. But this totally did exist before patch. It was basically people who didn't want to come out from behind their towers. It's, you know, in my opinion, it's not really playing the game. I'm extremely one-sided about my opinions when it comes to how you should play the game. Obviously, that's because I want you to play against me so I can have fun. I don't care if you win, clearly. Nice guy that I am. But in all seriousness, this is the sort of thing that I don't like in this game, and you know that is what it is. Here goes their rocketing. Congratulations, rocket, rocket, rocket. Poison's definitely going to go out. We're going to throw Dark Prince. He's going to run through. He'll probably get Barbarian, but we'll see. We're keeping our cannon. Cannon is amazing for anti-Hog Rider. That's literally all it needs to be good for to have a slot on my team. It's also good anti-Royal Giant, honestly, too. There goes another rocket. But seriously, like, I didn't totally call this or anything. Yeah, this is getting a bit on the boring side. Let's poison that. There we go. Okay, so gonna throw out a fair amount of junk. Let's see if we can manage to get through. We're just gonna freeze this. Screw it. I'm tired of this. Oh my god, take it out, Musketeer. Get me the hit. All I need is... Oh, god. So, as you can see, playing defense turtling and overall just not even playing the game makes it so that you can draw. And if this person, you know, noticed that they could easily hog ride on me, they would basically have hog rided, taken a tower, and sat there behind their defenses. So, congratulations. They have not gotten rid of that problem. Oh well. Could I have been a little bit more aggressive there? Sure. I also could have opened myself up to basically hog rides. And that, you know, you can potentially lose and not be able to get over there. Because I couldn't get any traction against that because they had 3 defensive structures, which they kept cycling. So, anyway. Boop, boop, boo. Let's see what we got here. Awesome. We've got all the good people. I've got to be just, like, screaming in your guys' ears. I apologize. Let me see if I can move my mic some. I'm just seeing it light up like crazy, and I don't want to be just like, brah, brah, brah. Because, you know. How about boop, boop, boop. I'm hoping this is... No, that's... God, what is up with that? 1 second, I'm going to mute myself. Tech difficulties. Okay, and is that even remotely better, or am I still just blowing out everybody's ears? Testing again. Yeah, I don't know. I honestly might just be super loud today. I don't think that's the case, but anyway. I'm hoping that's better. If it's not, please tell me. And what's going on true? We've got Henrik, who's Thor for me. I don't know. As I said, I've got an amazing lineup. I get to keep like reasonable people around me all the time. This game is great. And as I said, trying out a different deck. Why? Because I get to play with Witch. I haven't gotten to play with Witch in forever. Essentially, this is the time at which you might as well get in those games that you wanted to play but weren't allowed to because you're restricted. Or at least your likelihood of winning was low. God, it is just lighting up. Oh, don't you be too nice to me, Ak. If I'm blowing out your ears, that makes me a jerk. Do. I'm just like messing with things. Talk. Still out there. It's just going crazy. Okay, so we're going to try that right there. It looks like I'm not the worst if I put it way far away from me. I just want to make sure that you guys can hear me. Okay, so if they want to open with that, doesn't cost quite as much as an elixir, don't get me wrong, but I still kind of want to punish it. We can throw this. We could have thrown the cannon, but honestly, I will take it out with the spear goblin, so I might... Jesus, what is up with all this garbage they're throwing? Yeah, so this is an interesting little swarm deck they got going on. They're getting my respect for how much garbage they managed to throw on the field so quickly. And we'll have to take the left side a lot more seriously now, which is fine. Okay, step 1, eradicate. It's unfortunate. If I had waited a little bit longer, I probably could have gotten that new one. Meh. We'll witch it up. Okay, so Dark Prince is going to come right back for us. We aren't going to have a way of getting rid of that bomber, but at least he split it. Oh, no, never mind. That's no good. We were really hoping that Witch was going to stick around because she does all the things. It's best I got. It's about to get really nasty in here. I apologize. I'm going to lose mercilessly. So, spawner decks are definitely still a thing. Don't get me wrong. It should be obvious. I just don't want to lose so badly. So, poison out on that side. As soon as it's dead, we're going to throw Hog Rider. It's a little bit of obvious tactics, but at the same time, there's really no sense in just letting them win immediately. That's just silliness. And then, not quite enough for Freeze. Plenty enough for Witch, though. Witch should be able to deal with most of that. We're going to throw, basically, Dark Prince out there to cover for Witch. Spear Goblins behind should be able to nullify most of this. And, I mean, they're just going to turn around and kill all of those, so good for me, I guess. We're going to throw a Musketeer behind it, because Musketeers are great. And then... heck, I'm just going to poison all that crap, because I'm mean. And then... this time we're actually going to throw Cannon down. We don't want to lose too badly. We're throwing the Witch on the side so that she basically will be fighting this off, but then going the other way. Musketeer will come from behind and help clear out basically the behind the tower. And then we're just going to poison all of this, because, well, it's fun, honestly. And then, if that goes down, we can throw Cannon. Still throwing Witch. And then, Dark Prince is going to come from behind. At least I believe he will. Ooh, this is no good. Anyway. Not the worst. I definitely don't win 100% of the time with this deck, not even close to it, but I'm still enjoying playing it. It's really good as far as something different and something that I'm actually comfortable playing. So we'll see how the win ratio works on it. I only played it a little bit this morning, and so far it's just been fun, and that's basically the emphasis of it. Okay, so you immediately throw up defensive structure, and I will immediately poison you. Okay, so we can throw this out now. It'll be dead by the time she gets there. We can throw Dark Prince in front of it, and then we can hog ride that. And then Witch plus Dark Prince, they melt barbarians, quite honestly. It's pretty gross. Musketeer with behind a Witch is really nice because obviously you got the air support. That wizard is going to counter it pretty hard because he can hit both of them, so good for them. Not good for me, but that's okay. Did my audio finally calm itself down? No, of course not. God. And then same thing, I'm just trying not to sit on Elixir, but I really want to nullify out their towers. It's kind of unfortunate I'm going on this side because I would love to poison all of their garbage on the other hand side. With that coming out, I mean, honestly, I can pretty easily transition to that side just to punish. They have a witch as well, apparently. We're going to have to throw Dark Prince out there. We're going to throw Musketeer long. Musketeer's going to take care of this, and then as soon as we start waiting on this battle, all of my stuff on the right-hand side is going to go left. Wow, or that could happen. Yeah, so I'm not 100% sure what we do out of this deck to get rid of this. We can still poison all the way across. That's why I like poison so darn much. Do this. And then right about there. Dark Prince, deal with the nasty. Leave the squishies to me to build them up, please. Musketeer, how about you snipe some of that stuff in the back? And unfortunately, I can't throw Hog Rider through there because he keeps insisting on using a bomb tower over and over and over again. But that's okay. We're poisoning. Yeah, I don't know. It's not that bad. Okay, so I'm going to take this opportunity to be a jerk. They do not have their bomb tower up. I'm kind of tired of dealing with it. Hog Rider's going to go out. Hog Rider's going to secure victory for me. Obviously, this would have been bad with just the witch there because the baby dragon would have kept blowing out the candles on the skeletons, but, you know, we didn't have to worry about that because we were going to take it with that Hog Rider, right? 100% confidence. And then, let's see, where is audio? I'm just messing with settings really quick, seeing if I can figure out if there's a way to make this way less terrible. And you guys aren't telling me if I'm super loud or not. As I said, I bent it away. I'm trying my best. I'm noticing how hard it lights up. That's not normal. I'm not honestly sure what I did to change my audio settings there. I don't think it was an update or anything like that. So it's really hard for me to make any sort of real decision on it. other than take the stream down and sit here and scratch my head like an idiot. Oh my god, like I'm in a closet, says Akak. In the closet. Okay, so that'll just be something I'll have to figure out. We'll continue on. So long as I'm not just bleeding, making your ears bleed, that's honestly what I want. I can't imagine that anybody would want to hear me shouting at them as I'm commentating and playing the game. Let's see what we got here. Not really an opener, if you will, but at the same time, I mean, we got some cards. We'll get some chip damage on that side, mostly for funsies. It was a waste of elixir if I threw it down the lane, because it would have been just basically sitting there and taking it. Oh, that's bad. So, let's just freeze all of that. And I know that's not a good idea, because they're going to come through, but they were going to decimate my musketeer. I wasn't going to get any value out of him, or her. So what we're going to do is basically poison the area. Once again, not particularly great. They're going to get almost all of this tower. Dark Prince, definitely not going to get that in there in time to do anything. I mean, that was all poison, basically saving me there. Three Musketeers has absolutely been more often. Like, I've seen it show up a lot more often. We'll throw some goblins behind him. Okay, so how about we try that again, a little bit different. There it goes. So the idea being poison them before they even get on my side of the field. Freeze may come up before they even walk out of that square. If that's the case, life is great. Don't get me wrong, I'm absolutely not nullifying their damage here. Like, this isn't like, oh, perfect counter, good job. It's just, oh god, that's bad. I really need to try to get as much damage on them as humanly possible. We definitely don't want Hog Rider or anything that doesn't fight out while those the Three Musketeers are on their side. That is very catastrophic. And Cannon, please get there in time. It did. Jesus. I was way too close. I mean, we know they're about to giant and... Well, no, they actually did something different for once. We do have Hog Rider. We can freeze. Musketeer's going to try to get there to save it as best it can. No, of course not. So we're going to overkill on this. What we're honestly going to do is throw everything down the right lane. You know the Three Musketeers is coming out. What I am attempting to do is race them. I don't know if they realize that I am attempting to race them. This cannon is basically just going to get in the way of this garbage. And then literally going to throw as much down that lane as possible. And then with two giants, it seems smart to use Dark Prince. We're going to keep pressuring because if they can't afford to pay 9 to get 3 Musketeers out, they don't get 3 Musketeers out. That's too bad. I thought the Dark Prince was going to kill him a little bit faster than that. Obviously it didn't. It's just what it is. I am noticing I see more Rocket recently. Rocket absolutely will kill a witch. Fireball sometimes will take enough out of a witch that it hurts my feelings, but that's okay. They did have to pay for that. Mind you, they did get damage on the tower, so I'm going to have to remember that to play the witch wide. It's always hard to tell those sorts of things at the very beginning, but you know, maybe that's what I start forming the basis of my offense anyway. We get a poison down there to basically wreck their minion horde. Minion horde's one of the things I don't like, which does pretty okay against it. So does 3 Musketeer, or regular Musketeer. On the other hand, Cannon does jack diddly against it, other than sit there and get beat to death. So we're not a big fan of the Cannon for its obvious anti-air inefficiencies, but takes care of a Hog Rider usually, and that's pretty okay by me. So we've got probably 2 more turns before we bait out their defensive structure and the minion horde. That's essentially what's roadblocking me right now. There it goes again. So definitely didn't take my own advice. I was just trying to slow down to the point where it would be good, but that wasn't good. That was bad. We are ahead, though. Think about it. Even with them getting basically successive tower hits, we're still doing just fine. Okay. With this going down, basically I'm expecting minion horde. Nope, just regular horde. We'll throw Dark Prince. We'll throw Cannon. There they are. So this is what we want ideally. We'll see how well this works. I think it's going to work really well. That's a good rocket. Dark Prince is unaffected. That was just because of spawn timer, not because of his shield. Ooh, so they are going for the KO here. They're not going to get it. We're going for the same thing. Freeze anything, I will take you right now. Excellent. Nothing too shocking there. As I said, it's regular play. But I don't find that I'm horribly disadvantaged by playing this deck. I personally am finding Witch to be, as I said, it's a spawner caster. That's weird as hell, but you know, does well for me, so I'm gonna keep using it until I find out that I hate it for some reason. And you know, with what I have supporting it team wise, I just kind of don't think I'm gonna find that I hate it, if that makes any sense. Okay, so we're gonna throw a Hog Rider after that, so long as they don't do anything crazy. I would define that as crazy enough for me. We'll throw Spear Goblins wide. Wizard's probably gonna take them out pretty quick. But they didn't get my Musketeer with their freeze, so sort of mission accomplished, quite honestly. And then I would like the Musketeer behind my Witch, and my Hog Rider somewhere in the middle. He doesn't have to be tanking. And then I won't have enough for freeze at a good time, that's fine. I'll have plenty of time to Dark Prince these guys down. That was the weirdest little dip I have seen in a while. He did not move in a uniform pattern. Also, those are level 9 barbarians. Come on, guys. Come on. You're making a statement about yourself. Over-level barbarians. And the Witch is definitely not as strong as the Wizard is, as far as AoE clear. Dark Prince charge plus Wizard like instantly destroyed barbarians before, so it's just something I'm kind of looking at and making decisions. Cannon, go. Okay, he's gonna get some damage. I think we're gonna go for a similar setup on their side, because let's face it, at this point we're behind. They blocked the river. It's unfortunate. We got the freeze in, though. It's nice. The Witch has survived, so she's going to be putting down as much support as she can. There's not going to be too much I have to worry about on this side, and I can honestly throw another Witch because that took so long, which is good for me. Witches do kind of stick around like some of the other units, sort of like the baby dragon had that lasting staying power that I was attracted to it for. So you know, it's nice that you don't lose everything in when you switch out a deck, basically. Once again, level 9 barbarians, not exactly fair here, but that's okay. We're not gonna try to play fair by their rules by any stretch of the imagination. God, that was terrible. Just be a buffer. Just, oh god. Anyway. And that poison won't kill it. We're done. Even if it had gone the entire duration, it wouldn't have killed it. Should have dealt with that a little bit differently, and I let their Hog Rider through by not using freeze appropriately to counter. You know, that's just me playing crappy. Like, and don't get me wrong, they had a good freeze. They managed to get both a witch on the left-hand side and basically some other stuff on the right. So it's not like they weren't trying. It's that, you know, I could have played better, and that's unfortunate, but is what it is. Spawn those beauties out right there. So they're not even... Dark Prince isn't even going to take those hits. He's tanking for me now, though. God, they managed to get the witch, though. It's unfortunate. Would have had even more witchy mayhem if I had managed to keep that alive. That would have been like probably another 200, 300 damage easily if she had not been killed by the prince. Cannon can deal with that. Musketeer can deal with that as well. Shouldn't be too much of an issue. Obviously, this means we won't have anything if they have a Hog Rider, and let's face it, people have Hog Riders, so that's pretty probable that it's coming out next. But this is actually a pretty okay setup for a push. Dark Prince once again taking the beatings. I don't know if this is a good idea, but we'll find out. Musketeer is going to get taken down. It's unfortunate. Spear Goblin's coming behind for basically auxiliary firepower, but they're going to get wiped out too. Only thing I got here is defensive poison. Not how I like using poison. Is what it is. Does what it do. I guess I could have used the cannon, but I don't want to find out that those guys took like 800 damage off of my tower because I just didn't have a good card to counter them. Hog Rider's going to go out. I think that because they threw that elixir, they'll manage to get something on it. But if he gets a good hit on it, especially if he gets 2 good hits on it, then that's basically poison bait now. Stay right there. Just right there. That would be good. Oh, did not manage to sacrifice a goblin for a charge. That's going to do quote-unquote massive damage. Oh man, and they don't seem to realize that I'm just going to poison right through that. Take as many of their pumps as I can. Now we're going to do basically the same maneuver again. This time Witch goes far so that she goes down the right-hand side. She doesn't walk into basically that death trap. Because, I mean, that's a death trap. Hog Rider's going to distract the hell out of these guys. Or not at all. So that didn't go out the way I planned. I guess that's okay. They've still got that Prince charge. Don't get me wrong, this is all dangerous. Cannon can stay right there. And then Witch is going to go a little bit further back. Congratulations, you've evened it out. Okay, so we're throwing these goblins wide so that they'll hopefully distract the heck out of these minions. We'll throw down a witch too. Yeah, they're not going to play nice about this. Makes sense. Not that I'm trying to play nice. I should have just kept on what I had. No guarantees it would have worked, but you know, would have been nice. Yeah, I think ideally to get through all of that, basically all of that push they had going on there, I would have had to manage to get a Dark Prince out there first so that he could absorb the Prince, and just could never manage to basically match my deck up that way. It's one of the problems with basically a heavier cost deck. Mind you, this is still a lighter deck than I ever use. It's like 3.8 or something like that. But anyway, just keep on going. As I said, we're not doing too bad. The play is manageable. It's much closer to what I'm used to, where it's basically you wait to counter and things like that, than what I was playing before. Because what I was playing before was basically suicide bombing, and I'm okay with that because it was pretty darn fun. Definitely a change. And we don't like that. So we poison it. She's doing okay against that. Like, mind you, she's still going to get taken down. The skeletons help slow it down, but unfortunately that was part of my big defense for basically this garbage they got on the right-hand side. I think I'm getting a little bit overzealous with my witch play. It's really easy to admit that that's probably what's going on. I'm going to suffer for it right here. They're going to get at least 300-400 damage on this tower, guaranteed. It's no good. No good. So we're going to have to slow this down a little bit, right? We already know they're going to use Royal Giant. We already know that they're going to use the combo with Minion Horde. Not surprising. That's what everybody does. Not like it's bad. It's really effective. So we're going to throw Hog Rider. He's just basically going to be our push for us. Oh, who'd have thought? They throw Barbarians. And defensive poison. We'll see basically that combo that we're not particularly looking forward to rear its head in the next second or two. If Musketeer can go long on this, that would be amazing. How about we throw out a cannon? They probably don't have the elixir to throw out the Minion Horde, but they probably will now. So we're just waiting for it. I don't know if I could have preempted that any better. Maybe if I had Spear Goblins down sooner, they could have helped push that out just a little bit farther. Hard to tell. Prince is going to take on this. I think we're going to stick to the left-hand side, quite honestly. It looks like that's just the better side to focus on. That's where we're getting places, at least. Once again, poisoning. I'm not saying you always poison them when they put up defensive structures, but it certainly is motivation for them to cut it out. Oh, there we go. Excellent. And then this might be really good positioning. I can't tell yet. It looks like that Giant's taking it regardless. Oh, that's terrible. So I get nothing out of that for counter push. I just got to basically jump as much stuff down their throat as I can. This is probably all I'm going to get as far as acceptable pushback. I'm not going to use poison. I'm going to have to basically put up the defense. Royal Giant should be coming out again. We're just going to start poisoning because we know that they use basically that Horde. If that slows them down, that's great and all. That is massively bad for me. Nope, anyway. So, with a good coordination, this isn't the easiest play against the Royal Giant. I've had games where maybe they were just lower level Giants and the Witch just tore them to pieces, but that person had no intention of putting a Royal Giant without putting something else in front of it. Putting out a Valkyrie like that, honestly, I tried the same thing and I had very little actual success with it, so I'm not really sure what's going on there, but that just comes down to that I need some more itinerations, quite honestly. Okay, we're going to throw a cannon here just to avoid wasting any more elixir. Okay. And then, obviously, that wizard's going to take care of all these skeletons. It's really unfortunate. Hopefully, this musketeer is just going to blow that wizard directly in the face, which would be amazing. She did. She needs to be level 6, darn it. I'm pretty sure that's what I'm going to be asking for a while. I apologize if anybody else was trying to musketeer it up. God, a P.E.K.K.A. and a giant skeleton, huh? If I tried to play that, you know I'd be playing against, like, the most terrible little cheap decks, and they'd be like, oh, look, we've used all of our, like, little moves against you. Derp-a-derp. But because it's somebody else and I play this, like, medium thick deck, no. I get the full advantage, quote unquote, of dealing with big opponents. And Hog Rider's going to go down the left side to distract them. That way they won't have a full consolidated Pika push. There it is. I'm not really concerned about a wizard by itself. That's just honestly how I feel about it. We'll send goblins to start kiting around. God, I hate you, wizard. I hate you so much. Let's see if Cannon can help out. Cannon can help out. Yeah. Which does a really fair job against Pikas, just because, you know, they have to stop and kill every single one of the skeletons. It's actually a really nice setup for me, at least. Which is going to take down the majority of that. We're going to throw a Dark Prince. Musketeer's good enough for that. Oh, there's no way he's getting to him in time. And Witch can come from behind. And Hog Rider coming out with the Witch might last long enough. We'll find out. Cannon can sit right here. Looks like that Hog Rider did just fine. Dark Prince will go from behind. That way he'll hopefully be able to run out of there on impact. Yeah, we'll lose the cannon. I'm more than willing to lose 3 elixir for nothing important getting bombed out. And then there and there. I totally had a cannon in there and I could have played it elsewhere, but you know what? It's not a bad use either way if that match had to go on. Once again, this is much closer to my I'll take a tower and basically sit pretty, try to defend. It's definitely a way to learn how to play defense with characters faster, because the other way I wasn't learning. I was not learning a single thing on defense. I was just like, maybe that'll work. Whatever, kill their tower. And it was a lot of fun, once again. It's just not reliable. Like there's no big like haymaker deck that costs a lot of elixir that's easy to put out and able to throw constantly. That's the whole point of them being higher cost units, is because they can be extremely impactful if used correctly. So it's not surprising why A, I am attracted to higher cost units, but B, also because they inherently have value so long as they're not super squishy. So who'd have thought I always would pick medium to heavy characters. I mean, I don't know. For me, it's common sense. Obviously, it makes it so that I'm not playing the game where I'm throwing a whole bunch of little minions, and I've got no problem with people being like, that's why you're not getting a Legendary Arena, if that's the way you play this game. And that's probably true. But I honestly want to see what I can do playing it my way for a while, and, if I really never get to Legendary Arena in the next month or so, maybe I'll switch. But for now, I'm shuffling decks. Right now, I like this deck. We'll see how I feel about it in the next day or two. That's really the question for me, is I'll play a deck, and if I don't like it, I'll either try to modify it a little bit, and if the modification fails, I'll probably just wipe it. Because until I can get an idea of what I can really get my fingers into, that really works for me, there's really no point in just sitting there and trying to theorycraft out something that just doesn't work practically, because you don't know what you're going to actually fight against next. Let's see what we got here. Oh, yeah. So, Thor says, I want the Dark Prince some bad. Dark Prince is an amazing unit. That's exactly what I'm saying. For 4 cost, he is... It's almost impossible for me to think about taking him out of my deck permanently. He's just that thing that I like about this game. He's got some HP, he does some interesting things, he's got some mechanics, and usually he does what I think he's going to do, but every once in a while he does some weird stuff. And quite honestly, he's nice because he just runs stuff over. And that's as I said, that's a really good archetype. The reason I don't like Prince is the reason why I love Dark Prince. Oh, I'm going to use my 5-cost Prince against your whatever, right? Oh, I've thrown my 4 or 1-cost skeletons against them. Prince is nullified. I'm like, no, Dark Prince is not nullified. Dark Prince is pissed, and he's going to take it out on you guys. Anyway, I like it. I like that he basically makes other people speed bumps. He's I don't know. He's a great unit. Let's see here. Yeah, Akak's saying those giants deal too much damage. I agree and disagree. If you level them up really hard, it's just like those 9, level 9 barbarians where I'm like, oh, sweet, I get to fight level 9 barbarians. That sounds super awesome. And it's just if you have units that are over leveled for your arena, of course they're going to look impactful, especially if they are offensive units that only want to attack structures. I very intentionally want to have the highest level Hog Rider I can get because that's usually where most of my damage comes from. This deck, not so much. It spreads around a little bit more. It's a little bit fair. This isn't like Hog Rider does all of my basically all of my damage, and everybody else is there to assist him. So like that's really not the way this goes down. Especially when either the Witch or the Musketeer gets like just a good break, and they're allowed to do max damage. They just do absurd amounts of damage. They can really put in like the damage, which is why I'm liking this. Somebody plays 3 structures like they did before. It totally sucks, but Hog Rider was never going to get through those 3 structures. I at least have some possibility of getting through them with what I had here. And that's, as I said, it's a difference. After playing such a very specific game for so long, it's nice just to play anything else. Especially when it's playing anything else that's characters you already liked but decided you couldn't play with because they weren't viable at the time. I don't think Witch is super viable right now. I think Witch is significantly more viable than she was pre-patch, though. I don't know, if you want to give like the Witch herself slightly more HP, I'm gonna be like boo, and Witch will suddenly become very powerful and very viable. It's hard to say on like how you would balance all the cards. And as I said, Witch is more viable to me post patch, and I like it. And I don't think that she necessarily needs like love for days. Just all of their cards, you want them to be like balanced nicely so that anybody can play the cards that they really like playing with some other cards that maybe they don't like playing as much. And that's a pretty solid game model, and I feel like that's what they're doing right now. Akax asks, have you tried the Fire Spirits? They seem to die so darn easy. I haven't been able to use them effectively. I am seeing the Fire Spirits personally as a slightly modified shock spell. In the amount of cost it costs, but significantly higher damage and with less utility. I don't see them as units, I see them as spells. I know that's a little bit silly because obviously they can be shot to death. I will totally try to level them up to at least like level, 8, 7, 8, something like that, and give them a good try. 2 cost. Once again, 2 cost, you get 3 of them, they blow up. They do AoE damage, they can jump into the air. It makes them really good anti-push. I don't know how good they could be on offense, truthfully, because it seems like it's very difficult to weave them in there and get them to the target. But if you are looking for some sort of defensive ability, they're going to do more damage than Shock would. So anyway, that's the way I'm looking at them. They have the possibility of being killed so that they might do no damage, but for 2 costs, they're not excessively expensive. But yeah, I have somebody saying that they want Hog Rider. Hog Rider's amazing. Just get Hog Rider as soon as you can. I know that's totally like, oh yeah, just as soon as you can. It's the same problem I have with Legendaries. Yeah, just get Legendaries as soon as you can, Aero. That way you can start playing Legendary decks. Yeah, okay, whenever that happens. I've got a giant chest. That's going to be overnight tonight. We're going to, super cross fingers. All the fingers we can cross. I don't even know what Legendary I want now. That's the best part. They put so much Legendaries in the game. I'm like, I want all the Legendaries. And then I want to try them out, and then I'll tell you which one I want. But if I had to, pick only one, and that's all I was allowed to get forever, I would have no clue. If they were pick the Legendary, you'll be playing in your deck forever right now. I'd be like, no, don't ask me that question. I need to look at all the angles. And that's just the way I am. I will happily procrastinate a decision for as long as I feel it takes for me to become comfortable with it when it comes to gameplay. Oh my god, goblins. Oh my god, barbarians. Shoot them, my crappy little minions. Okay, so we are going to need Dark Prince, and you should kill those archers, because they're way cooler than that barbarian. That's just facts. I'm not making that up. So, we're going to throw cannon in front. Hope that the Musketeer can hit that spawner unit from there. I don't really know, honestly. We're going to throw down Witch. They seem to be just kind of kicking my butt here. Usually people don't play Barbarian Hut first. They almost always play the Goblin Hut first. And I'm not telling you that I understand spawner deck logic, so I'm not going to make commentary on that. Only that I don't remember the last time I actually had to fight down the barbarian horde or the barbarian spawner deck first. It's almost always the gobs. So now we get to push onto their side. Of course, they have more spawners. Why wouldn't they have more spawners? My poison was deep in my deck. It really kind of slows down how quickly I can deal with a spawner deck. But as you can see, Dark Prince is the greatest card, bar none. Probably not bar none, but I really do love my Dark Prince. Level 4, I will spend the dollars on him the second he hits the shop again. My God, I can't, as I said, he does lots of the things I want him to do, and that makes him a really stand-up card in my book, because, you know, that's really what you want cards to do, is you go, I want this and this and this, and Dark Prince goes, that's what you wanted, right? This was your order? And I go, that was my order. Hog Rider is a similar level of efficiency, where I'm like, man, Hog Rider, why are you so good? Hog Rider's like, that's just how I roll. And I'm like, man, Hog Rider, you are really good. Not only do you hop that river, you don't care about those units, you're just going straight for that structure. Now, mind you, it's funny because, you know, Dark Prince is the one who got on the tower, but that was just timing. And mind you, it wasn't intended. Obviously, I wanted him to get to the tower. That's always the point. I don't ever really care if they fight. And Cannon. And Musketeer. And I'm totally about to start poisoning the heck out of these guys if it doesn't get better. Ooh, this is getting worse. It's getting worse. Anyway, we should probably play defense. There's only 22 seconds left. Part of me very much so wants to just put everything on the line and just throw it out there. I like what I did here instead. We already know they have a fireball. We need to basically keep them away from my side of the map, because fireball can totally take that out. Just, you know, if it had some damage on it. Also, if they managed to hit it before they got through there. As I said, timing on that was tight. I didn't want to give them a real shot to have to hit overtime. I'm not saying I can't do overtime with this deck. I really don't. I don't know if I could do overtime with this deck. The deck seems definitely solid for the regular play duration. Some decks definitely get better in overtime because you have the double elixir, and as soon as one thing goes down, like you want to throw as much elixir as you can in a ball, not worry about the repercussions because you got that tower and it's over. And I cannot tell you that I think this is that deck. All I have is Poison and Hog Rider for probable, like, hard poke. Everything past that has to earn its way onto their side of the field. So I imagine that this is balanced enough to going into overtime, but it's certainly not like some of my decks where, like, you know, you use Rocket and you're like, yeah, just throw the Rocket, man. Just throw it over and over again, and who cares? Like, what's the worst that could happen? And so Akak is telling me that apparently for my legendary qualms that I want Princess level 2. He has Princess level 2. I am so happy that people in my clan are starting to get to basically the areas where they're getting these legendary cards and stuff like that. Because, oh man, I don't have a legendary card, boo-hoo is me. No, just tell me that they're good and that they're worth it when I get them, and I'll be happy. I don't need to have all of the toys, like, all the time. Princesses always look good. Ice Wizards always look good. That Miner, what is it? The Lava Hound, though? I fought one of those yesterday. I hated fighting that thing. It's good. I fought one Sparky. It blew my face off. So that's probably a pretty good indication. And what is the last legendary? I do not remember. That's okay, though. Yeah, no, I don't remember. At some point I'll remember it. But no point in just going, Urgh. We've got Pigtail Gamer saying, hey, what's going on, Pigtail Gamer? Got some action going on. With your Pigtail Raider, or Pigtail Gamer, are you a Hog Rider fan, I'm assuming? I could be wrong. That could just be, you know, a unwarranted accusation. But I just happen to think Hog Riders are awesome. So, Witch near the middle. We're trying to avoid fireball damage, just in case we're literally fighting the exact same deck as last time. These barbarians are significantly squishier. Let's hope that means that this is just going to be fun. Dark Prince is going to go out doing his Dark Prince duties, which include winning games for me, and for thus I love him. Poison's going to do at least as much as I can to get the possibility of actually getting on that tower. It looks like we're doing just fine. Obviously that Valkyrie hurts, but, you know, it is what it is. We're also going to throw down a cannon for distracts. We don't know whether or not they have a Hog Rider. I know that's a question whether or not they have them that seems to come up often, and that's just because, honestly, Hog Rider is that good. I know a lot of people complained that basically the things that did not get nerfed this cycle was Hog Rider and also Pika Double Prince. But you know what? I've seen plenty of people play Pika Double Prince really terrible, and I've seen people play Hog Rider really terrible too. So at least it's not like Mortar, where if you don't know how to play it, look at any video on the internet and they will tell you how. Also, if you need to know how to play Freeze, not like that is the answer. That was the worst Freeze possible. I got basically nothing out of that, other than for my my Dark Prince to 1v1 somebody, not his specialty, while everybody else just gets to beat him to death, which is not his specialty. He takes damage to the face really well and continues to put out value. So if things are basically undervaluing my Dark Prince, aka my extremely poor play, I'm not going to be too happy about it, quite honestly. There we go. So they have way too many elixir pumps up. We want to deprive them of that as much as possible. That means that I can't throw that on their current tower that I'm working on. But you know what? That's kind of okay. We're definitely having more difficulty with this particular set than the last one. I'm pretty sure it's because their Musketeer and Valkyrie usage is really nice. We're going to throw this cannon all the way up, because at this point we're pretty positive they don't have a Hog Rider. I totally should have thrown that poison as soon as I thought I was going to. I could have positioned it a little bit further back. It would have been better. And then, Dark Prince, we are on the offensive. I need you to get the lead out, sir. I mean, you guys can see how much garbage is just coming down the pipe at me. Like, this is a ridiculous amount of just junk. And if I didn't have the Witch, spawner decks are way harder to deal with without a Witch. Hog Rider needs to go out there. If we need to freeze, we will totally freeze for Great Justice. He needs to get on there. Wow, they kept the Hog Rider that long. Hey. I legitimately did have difficulty against that. I only managed to clinch it at the end just because that's basically where my ebb and flow went. And as I said, they kept that Hog Rider that entire time. That entire time. They could have just split pushed against me by throwing Hog Rider on the left-hand side, and I would have had a really difficult time dealing with it if I didn't have cannon. Anyway, I digress. Let's do a little bit more. 4 hours and 4 minutes for a crown chest. Wish I had it now. I hope you guys like the addition to the crown chest. I feel somewhere between a gold chest and a giant chest now. I really like that. I love the amount of gold that's sitting in it. It is definitely worth to do every single time. Not that you wouldn't do it anyway if you play this game a lot, but I'm just saying it is a wonderful improvement. We're probably going to witch on the right-hand side as soon as we see what's going down with this. And then we're going to hog ride on the left-hand side for split push. I don't think we're going to do much on the right-hand side. We're just going to basically equal out. We're going to need something. How about we throw this and Sphere Goblins? Ooh, good for me. Freezy Freeze is expensive, sir. I don't think you got too much out of that Freezy Freeze. We're definitely pushing on the left-hand side now. That's just how it goes. We're going to wait to get both Dark Prince and Witch. I'm pretty sure that I've already said that they're Team Cylinder Head. They are living up to their name, for me at least. Witch, get out there. If I had thrown the Witch just a little bit sooner, her skeletons would have came out. Skeletons don't do jack against a Valkyrie, though, so this is unfortunate. Poison will go down on that. We can throw a cannon on basically the wizard. Oh, they're like, you've activated my trap card. Plays Hog Rider. We're going to freeze that as soon as we can get that out. If I had played the cannon a little bit to the left, at least it would have helped. Clearly didn't do much there, right? And so we're going to have to sit pretty for a second and reevaluate. We don't want to basically rush this out too hard. We've got enough time that we can wait to charge up. Musketeer can get mowed down by a couple of things, honestly. God, I should not have used that cannon so close. Mostly it was just a knee-jerk reaction. That's why I did it so bad. I did not have time to think about that. I just went, what's the worst that could happen? But in all honesty, I could have played it towards the middle. It would have blocked their Hog Rider. Not that I'm saying it's coming out next. I am heavily implying it, though. That's a tower down for me. Hog Rider! Gotta love you, Hog Rider. You're so good. So we'll call that a successful defense. Most of that was based on forethought and realizing that Hog Rider was absolutely going to be next. And, I mean, that's, as I said, there's certain skills that I'm picking up as I play this more and more, and that's why I don't mind if I'm, rocketing directly into the highest echelons of this. There's lessons I need to learn, and playing defense is always going to be the most important thing that you're going to learn how to do with your deck as, your first requirement. And, yeah, it's great that I'm learning how to play defense, but I already admitted that cannon was garbage. Most of my cannons are garbage. I haven't played with cannon an awful lot, and I don't know what, the little ins and outs of it is for optimal range and things like that. But I'll take it. And then... Akak, I do not know if I made said reference. And what's going on, Vesper Product Gaming? Hope you guys are having fun with Clash Royale. We are having a lot of fun on this here channel because of Clash Royale. I don't know. Can do nothing but sing its praises. And that's great. We'll do, as I said, we'll do a couple more. But yeah, just trying out a new deck. We're having fun with it. The patch has basically brought down my world as I knew it in extremely silly numbers. The way I used to play was very contrite. I acknowledged that it was contrite, but I was willing to play it until it started failing. And after the patch, it started failing pretty hard. I mean, and once again, I got no problem with that. That's what I said I was going to do. Okay, so I like cannon maybe here. And the idea of goblins here makes me happy as well. Oof, that does not make me happy. We are going to... freeze all of that. And then we are going to Dark Prince that and really hope they don't unfreeze with that rage just destroying him. That was okay. I don't have a Valkyrie. I'm using a Dark Prince as though he were a Valkyrie. It's not always super effective. That shouldn't be a shocker to anybody, hopefully, since, that's not what it is. We are going to Poison and Hog Ride. That should provide him at least some support. Possibility of basically eking out some units that are worth it. Poison is now worth it for me. It is going to have kill some barbarians as well as deal tower damage. We're going to throw a Witch a little bit further up. We don't like that Wizard at all. He's going to just basically wreck the stopping power of it. We are not willing to use Freeze on this combo, even though it's, as I said, it's not a good combo for me right now. Because, quite honestly, we know we need Freeze for Three Musketeers. I don't think Cannon's going to help against Three Musketeers. I mean, it'll help in that it'll be a speed bump, and it'll help because they play Giant in front of it, but I don't think it's going to help in the other senses of it. We're going to throw out Spear Goblins to just see if we can bait. They're going to get around 250 to 300 damage if they get basically everything they want. I also cannot throw my Dark Prince because I've already told you how I use him against Three Musketeers. It's a little bit scary because you have to wait for them to get on your side to really get away with these tactics. There they go. And then, so we are going to Freeze there, Dark Prince there, and Cannon there, because now that they're frozen, they might actually make it. That Giant is wailing on my tower, don't get me wrong, this is bad. But Three Musketeers is hard to deal with. I could totally switch out for Valkyrie, don't get me wrong, that's 100% a thing that I can do. I just didn't. I decided to go with Witch. I'm not giving up my Dark Prince. I like him too much. And then I do like Poison. Oh, Poison, Poison, Poison. And then, so, not surprising they get that. Rage is really strong if you use it well. I don't use it well, that's why I don't use it. Freeze, please. Oh, wow, that didn't even work. Anyway, it didn't matter. It didn't slow him down any. And it just shows that I'm a big idiot. Still not completely far from each other. The game wasn't bad. It's not like I'm losing mercilessly. Three Musketeers can be dealt with. Royal Giant can be moderately dealt with. I'm certainly not highlighting my deck against them, though. I'm just trying to play something that I'm comfortable with. And, you know, I don't know how to fit like a Valkyrie or a mini Pika into this deck and still be able to play it the way I play the game, which is basically I charge at them. Hog Rider, etc., Dark Prince, etc. You know, like I personally like the Witch because it is slow. It gives me a different speed to throw out there. And Cannon and Witch and Spear Goblins. Spear Goblins. Goblins of Spears. If I had thrown them a little bit slower, Ice Wizard probably would have been stabbed in the back by Spears. This is our Team Cylinder combo. We'll see how this does against a regular size P.E.K.K.A. While we're waiting on that, I do believe Hog Rider's got some jobs to do on the left-hand side. It is hard to say whether or not I want to freeze this, depending on what they throw down. Yeah, screw it, we'll freeze it. Last second freeze, I am the worst. And I deal damage. Excellent, we'll take it. I could have poisoned on top of that if I had it in time, but I honestly would rather save the elixir. Sometimes you need the elixir. Welcome to getting shot in the side of the face. They don't last too long with real aggression put towards their way until they're higher level. So I've got no problem dealing with an Ice Wizard in such a manner. My towers are looking pretty healthy, so I'm going to be a jerk. Okay. And so more of this. We're still going to wait for that Pika to be on our side of the court. Even though we're doing well, doesn't mean that we should just start throwing stuff away. With throwing the cannon out there, we intentionally are going to have to lure a little bit. But I actually have a deck that can lure now, because Musketeer and Witch are both significantly better at that. Oh my god, that lightning was pretty gross. We're going to throw Spear Goblins because we don't want any of this coming our way. Ice Wizard, once again, not dealing a lot of damage to structures because he doesn't. Poison probably would have been a better choice there. Freeze will work just at the last second to slow all this down. And once again, Poison to do the thing that I said I wanted it to do. And Three Musketeer just pew right in the face. Ta-da! Games and stuff. Vesper Product Gaming says, I'm new to this channel. Can you make a 3.6 average elixir deck? I will subscribe if you do. Probably. Let's switch out for my original deck because, quite honestly, it is somewhat close to that. We use you instead of you. And there's 3.6. Ta-da! I hope that answers the question. This is my old deck. Does this mean this deck is any good? No, not necessarily. In fact, I bet you that this deck is terrible without its main tank in it. Will I play with this at 3.6 for a subscription? Man, I would lose mercilessly with that. That would take a lot more to figure out. But if you're just looking for the specific numbers, 3.6 isn't hard to hit. I hope that answers the question. But honestly, with the way that the decks work, all you'd have to do is switch out any of those 4 units with other 4 units, if you like other 4 units, because there's a lot of 4 units in the game, and you'd be able to keep going with it. You could also switch out some of those 4 units for heavier units if you switch out some of the 4 units for lower units, like goblins. The other one I have is 3.9. This one's 3.8. So, still lower than we were doing before patch. It's not a big deal. What do we got to deal with this? We got a freeze. We'll throw a Musketeer just so they can't counter freeze as easily. Don't get me wrong, that's a lot of elixir to waste on a single unit, but, you know, Hog Riders hurt, so take them seriously, I guess is the easy way to say it. We're going to charge at this, they're level 8, they're still going to do some damage. Oh, the sneaky sneakies. So, the reason why I say sneaky sneakies is, you throw all the goblins, we're going to look at how much damage they do before they all die, right? Like, that is a significant and real amount of damage. I didn't realistically have a lot of elixir to drop them. I could have thrown spear goblins instead of throwing them on the left-hand side. It would have been a much more efficient use of my elixir, but that's okay. And because they've done that, we should switch over to the right-hand side. We don't want to just basically leave a hole open for them. That would be kind of silly. Hog Rider goes in as well. I've got both of my spells. It just depends on what gets more attracted by the second. We will throw Cannon down there for counters. We will throw Musketeer down there also for counters. And then I'm expecting them to split push again because so far that's working for them and they're good to do that because quite honestly split push totally works. God, that spear did all the damage. I'm gonna lose for sure now. Okay. Still don't have a cannon while my Hog Rider is coming at me, so that's bad. They don't seem to have freeze, or they're not using it yet. Don't get me wrong, I intentionally don't use my freeze every time it's up, because freeze has basically what I like to call a backlash effect. If you don't use it properly, then they basically keep their units on their side of their side of the field, and you basically made it so that they could store them up just as easily as if they had meant to do that themselves. So I try not to help people out in that aspect. So while we've got basically all those units down, let's see what we can do. Hog Rider is going to get chewed up, which is going to do an okay job of basically defending our side. And just so we're clear, I have extreme pressure on me right now because I already know that they're going to rocket me to death within the next 30 seconds. So I have to take a tower. I have to take a tower to be in this. I'm more than willing to start doing questionable things for that. Now that I have done that, I am willing to make less questionable decisions. Here's that rocket like I was talking. We didn't intentionally put anything by the towers because we knew it was going to come. You know, we're not looking for that sort of thing going on. And because we know they have rocket, I think we're just going to go for everything. I don't normally do this, but sometimes I do. They're using goblins well. Good for them. So long as I keep my cannon for my Hog Rider defense, I should be okay to fight them off. We'll throw a witch in the middle. And then we have no tower support. Oh, look at them throwing a cannon on my side of the field. Good for them, honestly. Once again, Dark Prince and Witch, they've been fighting that entire time, no probs. Dark Prince even might get the splash on this, which would be amazing. We're going to throw down Preemptive Cannon because we know it's coming. We're going to throw down Poison because we know we don't want to deal with it. It looks like we're going to have to draw this because I can't effectively get out there without opening myself up to losing faster. I could have basically tried to smash their left tower, and I might have succeeded at it, but it's not easy to say that that definitely would or would not have been the case. It looks like I had better straight-up single lane push, so I probably should have gone for that instead of going for 3 crown. Boop, boop, boo. And then I got somebody whose name is Ha Death Kill. What is going on? Welcome to the show, etc. I've been saying that I'll do a couple more for the last couple. I will do a couple more and keep going because I'm honestly having a pretty good time with this. They throw that out. I say, no, sir. No, Mr. Superman. Anyway. I don't like elixir pumps. I don't like people getting stuff up on me. Who would have thought? Crazy talk, I know. So, as usual, Dark Prince and Witch combo, my favorite. It did okay. I got some damage on it. It was not amazing. It doesn't have to be amazing so long as it didn't just fail miserably. This will be failing miserably. we couldn't get the cannon out in time. If that had been my Tesla usage usually that I would use, no difference would have occurred there. They basically, I didn't have enough time to get that out. Also, I'm noticing they have Minion Horde, so they've basically got an air deck. I have to be more conservative. They also have a Hog Rider, so I once again have to be more conservative. Boop, boop, boop. That being said, though, I will totally do this right now. 3 minions is not enough. And then we'll throw basically Witch down for that. They're getting to the point where they're almost overtaking my ability to keep Elixir. So good for them, because honestly that just means they have a steady push. I will play Musketeer back some, because I imagine their Minion Horde is going to come out in another second or 3. Fireball managed to hit both of them. Honestly, that was why I was trying to not have them to group up, was because I didn't want the dragon to cleave them, but instead it was the fireball that cleaves them. They're playing really like catty, I guess is the way to say it. They're playing really conservative, waiting for me to push. They continue to use basically their elixir pumps to slow this all down. I don't have a legitimate push or counter push to those minions, so I'm going to use Hog Rider. At least we'll have theirs. We'll see what we can do about Golem defense. Let's throw that cannon down right now. Let's throw poison down right now. And then, I think that witch was way too far out. I think she's still going to basically engage that golem. That's really good. We did manage to get a second cannon out. Poison's going to go down again. Like, as much poison as humanly possible. The defense of this deck makes me happy. It's real. It actually has a quantitative amount behind it. I can actually afford to play defense with this deck. Makes it really attractive. I don't know. Which is a really solid choice all over. Like, it plays a lot more. I don't know. I don't think that there's too much that plays anything like Witch. It's got a lot of different components to it. I like it. I like it a lot. The cylinder head is still goofy as heck. I mean, I don't know. It's still goofy. I will give you my giant. What do you want? You can have my knight. All my knights. Take them! Oh my god, Akak just broke 2800. I want to steal your deck so badly, but I cannot. I would absolutely steal your deck, but I do not have the legendaries for it. And then Caden asks, "Is your mic sounds different? Is something wrong with it?" Yeah, we had some sort of issue with it earlier in basically the stream. I don't know how to fix it honestly without taking the stream down, and people are telling me I just sound like I've got weird little feedback on it. So I apologize if it's a little bit weird. I've been told that it's not like blowing anybody's ears out, which is honestly what I want, is for people not to go deaf listening to me. But yeah, Akak, good job. I am extremely impressed. I don't know how to say it any other way than that. I am envious of your legendaries, but I am not envious of the work ethic you've put in, because quite honestly, I already know that you put in crap tons of work and you do what you do. Oh, get them hits. Okay, Witch versus... Ooh. So, this cannon is in a stupid position, but mostly I just want to get those goblins off of my tower. I'm sure there was a better way to play that, but I don't know it, so I'm just going to keep doing weird stuff and hoping that it works out. The likelihood of that cannon getting almost any more utility is extremely low. In fact, to get more utility out of it, I'm going to intentionally bait all the way over here before I send out my Dark Prince. Which, once again, doesn't make the skillful play. It goes, oh my god, how do I cover up that big stupid that I just did right there? I don't like structures. How about you like poison? Poison! And since they're going to throw, god, that was one of the better poisons I've done in a while. Last game had a really good poison at the end. I was like, oh my god, how much elixir am I just capitalizing on right here? But that one was pretty nice. Not only did I get to tell their bomb tower that I don't like them, but I also got to kill all of their epic ward. We've got a nice counter push thanks to them throwing barrels at me continuously. Don't get me wrong, without specific spells, it is hard to counter Goblin Barrel for myself because I do not have arrows. Then I'm going to get some damage in here. Let's throw Dark Prince so he gets the charge on it. Charge is kind of necessary for level 8s. For level 9s, it's not even a fair fight regardless. So we just kind of do whatever we need to. Sometimes Dark Prince's job is just to basically get out there and take hits to the face, and we do adore him for such reasons. I haven't seen a good reason to use my cannon yet, so I'm going to just put it here for safeguard. I'm expecting barrel, basically, and I'm trying really hard not to waste elixir. Congratulations. That's kind of nasty, but this is also kind of nasty. And yeah, no, I'll take that. That's pretty okay. Yeah, we won't get anything on that side. Barbarians that far back makes me extremely suspicious. The likelihood of seeing some kind of giant or tanker character come out is pretty high. Maybe not, though. Cannon can go out with poison. Poison! And then Hog Rider can go on the right-hand side, see if we can coup de grace that tower. Hard to say, but, it's always nice to see it. Dark Prince couldn't kill fast enough. It's not his fault. And then, I think we're just going to keep poisoning the towers, quite honestly. If we had managed to put all of our damage on one tower instead of splitting them, obviously we would be much closer to this. Hog Rider goes out. Enjoy this cannon, which can easily unsummon, I guess is the way I'm going to say it. Musketeer's going to take care of that in addition. They'll probably get 2 tower hits. And then I'm going to just throw preemptive poison because I'm a mean guy. They were right to throw arrows there. That was so many skeletons. It would have been disastrous for them. And I don't know. Let's see if we can crack this. It would be nice if we could crack this. Trying really hard to cycle about as quickly as I can. Not give them any time to basically sit there and rest. Hog Rider won't kill that. And poison, get there. Yeah, there we go. That's at least possible. There we go. There we go. Anyway. Always nice when it comes down to a finish, last couple of seconds. Obviously, if you're playing defense, it's not as fun. I try really hard not to play defense, if you guys hadn't noticed. I play very aggressively. I try to poke out and grab at least one tower before I start sitting on my laurels and things like that. And I would heavily advise everybody to think about, being more aggressive, being more offensive when they play this game. Not because it will work at every level of play, but until you really realize what you can get away with, you won't know exactly what you can do to just basically smash all of your units out and push to the limit. Obviously, once you learn that, then you should be less aggressive, but I don't honestly think I've ever truly found where there was a limit when I was really trying to race against a person and try to push down a tower. Because sometimes, honestly, throwing out a bunch of junk down their lane, people just can't come up with good counters for it. And it's because we're trying to be very conservative and not allow ourselves to be split push that we put ourselves into the mentality that we push a little bit and see what they've got against us, and we're trying really hard not to basically take what could have been a winnable game and just throw it all away early by being anxious, because we've all done that. I'm sure we've all done that. But at the same time, if you shy away from being aggressive, you basically take away the element of surprise for yourself. I know I don't play what would be considered smart. I'm not looking to play smart. I'm not looking to play what's at the top of the leaderboards, and I'm not looking to find, amazing strats, blah, 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 YouTube channel, do this and you'll be #1 legendary. I'm looking to play the game and learn. Once I feel like I've learned, sure, maybe I'll start picking those up and being a complete jerk and try really hard to be successful at this game. But for right now, I'm still, quite honestly, in the learning phase. And so, learning is pretty much always the objective for what I'm doing. And so hopefully that helps you. Also, I just totally kept that up, so I hope you guys didn't say anything terrible. And we're at 2310. I haven't been back in this range since, I think, yesterday. I had a nice dip over the evening hours where I would go, oh my god, my current deck is failing miserably. And that does happen. And sometimes it's oh my god, how is it failing miserably? And if the answer is catastrophic and across the board, you should probably change out your deck. And so I did. And that is what literally was happening. I was like, oh my god. Yay, princess. I don't do well against princesses. I don't honestly understand the quick way to like knock them off and kill them. I'm sure Akka could tell me how he hates his princess being assassinated, which he should tell me. Possibly if he doesn't want to say it, and I won't say it over the stream, that's cool, but I don't. An excessive amount of people are, preying on his information. There's nothing here that's any good. So what we're going to do... Oh, come on, I threw that way too fast. Ideally, we wanted to get the spears out there so that the Hog Rider could do the damage on the tower. Obviously, it still went down pretty quick, but the Hog Rider... who knows? Hog Rider probably would have been able to knock that out. Freeze all of that. Fireball is not high enough to kill my witch. That's awesome for me. We'll see if we can cycle around fast enough to get that back out for the next Hog Rider. At least if it's down at approximately the same time, there's some possibility that I'll be able to use it. Princess is just going to murder my witch. Super jealous of the princess. And I'm sure they'll play something right in front of her. Nope. Okay, cool. I know what to do with that then. Enjoy. Boop, 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 boop. Oh yeah, get them spears on. I do very much appreciate my, freeze that guy really quick. Throw a cannon in front. That should legitimately stop him right there. Musketeer should go out. Put it in position so that basically the fireball would not murder it, assuming that would happen, because that seems to be a strategy lots of people use. I used to use that strategy a lot, where I basically freeze things and then fireball it, but the simple fact of it is if you can manage to do it without the freeze and you just hit the fireball, it's way better off. Obviously that's hard to do sometimes. We are going to try really hard. Nope, nothing. Cool. Frozen then. Musketeer, please shoot that princess in the face. Thank you. So I'm not feeling too confident about this. Princess puts an X factor in games, as I said, that makes it difficult for me to deal with her, because I've never known how to properly deal with her from the beginning. It's never been like, oh yeah, princess, that's easy. Actually, we'll kite all the way across. Come on over here, Valkyrie. You're totally gonna kill him. Oh my god, freeze that fast. Yes! Yes, 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 yes! Ha ha ha! Ha 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 ha! Anyway, sorry. I don't know. I was definitely thinking I was going to draw that. I don't like drawing. Pretty sure everybody knows that. If you've been watching for any duration of time, I am a testy, jerky, terrible person who likes getting more aggressive than the game is supposed to allow and getting away with it, so obviously it makes me really happy. Wow. Waffle's magical chest gave him 250 skellies. That is a lot of skellies. I don't know how I would feel about that. I might be a little bit angry, to be quite honest. Anyway, so, as I said, Princess, it's an X Factor. I was pretty sure I was going to draw or lose that game. They managed not to get up their defense in time, so Hog Rider snuck through, you freeze it, you get done with your day, and you go, I'll take that victory. I'll take that victory gold, which is amazing. Great change to the game. Obviously, you hit a cap. I've hit a cap every day I've been playing since the patch went through. It's a lot of gold. Like, you do, 30 matches, I think, you get 15 apiece. I don't know if you can get more than 15, but, you go up to 450 gold a day. Think about it. That's basically a free extra chest, like a gold chest that happens. So that's 8 hours of wait time that they basically gave to you if you want to play the game more aggressively. Like myself and a lot of the people in my clan play. You play 30 games in a day. That seems like a lot, but... Or I should say you win 30 games in a day. I guess that's the real X factor. Yeah, so I definitely don't get maxed out by playing 30 games. That's for darn sure. Poison this. I think you guys know how I feel about structures. Ooh, that's really bad. Let's throw a witch out. The prince absolutely would have gotten to the witch before she got her skeletons out, I feel, and that's just not ideal is the easy way to say it. I don't want that. I want I want to get this done as soon as possible. I'm pretty sure the witch is going to sit here and take the mortar to the face. Or could it just not? I don't know what happened there. It looked like the mortar couldn't even reach my tower. It just sat there and went, ooh. Made, like, weird, I don't know, strange noises. We'll just say strange noises. We have the possibility of this push getting through pretty healthily. That's nice. We've got a couple of things we could throw to augment it. Nah. I think we're just going to let it fizzle. As I said, I don't use freeze as often as some people may do aggressively, just because the blowback on it is just so painful. I don't generally play cheap, easy units, so when basically the blowback comes, I can't just soak it up with throwing a couple of skeletons and a goblin or three. That's just not the way my decks ever work. This person is biding their time. Apparently they want to mortar all of the things. I'm just going to throw poison. Mostly as I hate you, because I do hate mortar. They made basically an entire patch cycle miserable. They deserve everything coming to them, which is, in this case, poison. That cannon that I threw down literally had zero effect. It did nothing. Not the way I want it to be, but, that's just how it is. It did, on the other hand, set pacing for me, which is nice, because I could afford to basically sit back. I got the benefit of them having to put out basically an infected mortar. I'll take that. That seems like a pretty okay way to go. I've got so much of an aggressive push right now, and they didn't manage to get barbarians down, that, once again, mortar pretty much useless. I mean, I know it's because that they've reduced the efficiency of how everything works with the mortar, but I'm just saying, mortar is definitely not what it used to be without you being good at mortar. And that's a great statement, because that was my complaint all along about mortar, was that it was like, oh look, another cheap mortar player. I've never seen anybody do these tactics before. And it's like, oh wait, no, that's every mortar player I've ever seen play. God, that is just depressing. Also poison, because I feel like it. And we're not going to be able to take that 3 crown. I wish we could. 3 crowns don't seem to be an extremely easy thing with this one. Don't get me wrong. You get 2 or 3 witches out, and all of a sudden you have just an absurd amount of push. That's easily nullified with a poison field or an arrows or things like that. But even so, if you're going to use your spells on just a witch, then you're not going to get to use them on my other units. In some ways, she's kind of spell bait, because, people will throw an entire fireball at her. And mind you, fireball will kill a witch, probably, or at least possibly, or at least make them less effective, so it's like a 5-to-4 conversion. I'm not disagreeing with that. It's just that if they're using it on that instead of some of my other key offenses, maybe that's a good thing. Sometimes a witch sits there with 10% of its health and just keeps popping out skeletons left and right and just AoE cleaving for you. And so the fact that they wasted a spell on them may be just the most irrelevant thing they could have done with their elixir. Anyway. Oh man, Akak is great. So he's not responding to my how do you murder a princess. I'm just going to ask him how he does it next time we come on there, because he's driving, and good for him for not responding back to me. You get full kudos for being smart. That's why I like Akak. You're smart. Also, you have a princess. So jealous. So jealous. Throw out goblins, mostly as a precursory sweep, because that prince is coming from long distance. We can afford to throw skeletons out. We're going to throw a dark prince behind it. This is actually a pretty solid defense. That is crap. Let's nullify some of that with a cannon. Our witch is going to stay alive. As I said, sometimes a witch lives forever, it seems like. And that's great, because I want her to live forever. Just spewing out just absurd amounts of skeletons. So, anyway, that felt like it was a pretty solid counter. We can throw a Hog Rider. If I had thrown a Hog Rider earlier, we would have gotten away with murder. Instead, they get to murder my Hog Rider. So timing there was not very good. If you guys didn't know it, Spear Goblin sitting by a tower is all it takes to take out epic skeletons. Literally, look, no seriously, who got hurt there? No one on my team. Awesome. They've got Dark Prince. Could this be basically the Dark Prince, or Prince Pika? Hard to say. Cannon's going down. They have a very aggressive and offensive push. I can totally see why they're using freeze like they did last time. Once again, Witch coming through for me, though. Very defensive. And then this time I threw a Hog Rider as soon as I had the elixir for it. They obviously have a retort. We don't like it. We don't like those guys. Unlike... Oh, God. This is just going to be damage. We're just going to take damage. I'm probably going to lose this tower. I didn't have enough elixir to push it off. And honestly, all of my decisions were bad ones. If I had thrown the Musketeer, would have lost it mercilessly. The guy uses freeze really well. That's a high-risk maneuver. He's absolutely broken through my armor. And so I now need to basically play really well and get that back basically right now while he's at a deficit. This is going to be a pretty solid nullification. We also have freeze. Let's see what we can do with this. Nah, we're basically nothing. His barbarian placement was good. Ours was garbage. We're going to lose this. We'll just say it that way. Poison will go down. It'll be effective. It's not going to be effective enough to win this game for us. Shield hasn't even come off on the Dark Prince. We're basically trying for a tower at this point to hope that it'll time out. It's really, really, really stupid, but I don't honestly have a win strategy outside of it. We're going to lose this by 1-0 deficit. We're basically just giving it a try. So who'd have thought Double Prince is still super powerful? They don't use Pika, not surprising. Double charges, they hurt too much. Unless you have something you can throw on it like a Valkyrie, nothing. I don't mind taking that on the face. That guy's 25-01. That's the highest I fought today. I'm not like, oh my god, that makes him a better player. But obviously his double charge tactics kicked my butt. I'm going to take a look at that real quick. Yeah, I don't know. He just had both hordes. If I had arrows there, it might have worked out better. I don't have a tanker unit is the biggest issue. You throw both Dark Prince and regular Prince at basically a skeleton, giant skeleton, or some of the other units, you have the capacity to basically sit there and take the damage. Dark Prince is real tough, but Dark Prince can't take a charge from both princes. That's just irrelevant. It's great that his shield knocks off and takes the charge damage from a regular Prince, but if the Dark Prince shows up right after there, the charge damage from a Dark Prince is really not anything to laugh at. It's actually pretty solid. So, you know, that's basically what we're trying to avoid. Don't get me wrong, a double Prince deck would be totally cool for me. It's just that by playing double Prince, it's a lot harder to keep playing with some of the cards I'm more comfortable with. One of them being Hog Rider for sure. And honestly, I don't know how well this deck plays against structure-heavy opponents. I just don't know. I don't really ever... I have basically no actual experience firsthand with barbarians. I don't know how they honestly work that well against defensive structures, because it's easier to learn while you're doing it than it's being done to you. But, that's the only thing I could think that could maybe tip it in their favor. Anyway. Hanno's back. What's going on, Hanno? We're going to do a couple more. Anyway, what am I sitting at? Like hour and 40 minutes? It's not too bad. Okay, so see what we can get push-wise this time. Probably should have played the Dark Prince just a little bit further up. This will be an okay... Well, it would have been an okay push. Way too many people play Barbarians exactly the same way. I don't know. It's not like I'm like, oh, that's so bad. It's pretty good, honestly. It's just, at this point, I'm curious what we're ever going to see besides Barbarians for that. Like, I don't know. I don't think Barbarians are very interesting. Congratulations, there's 4 of them. Anything that cleaves takes them out pretty easily. And so I've never been attracted to the idea of playing with them, but I don't have any problem being like, oh yeah, they're a pretty good unit. Because, they stop and basically put up a wall wherever you want it to be quite honest. They're really good tank-wise. They just don't have anything unique about them, and they're not particularly fast. So that's honestly the only thing that I truthfully have against them, is that they're normal. That makes me able to discriminate against them or something. Okay, Hog Rider's going to get out there. And then we're going to poison all of this. don't get me wrong, this might not be the smartest choice. The blowback on this might be significant, but I really like poisoning. We're going to have to attack from behind. Those barbarians don't have a lot of HP. Basically the two tower wreckers are going to do just that. We're going to try to throw as much at them as we can. Probably isn't going to save the tower. We wanted to save the tower, but let's just be honest. I threw that freeze, and I basically got the blah 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 blowback for it. Same thing's going to happen here. They're basically giving my blowback. It won't stabilize until one of us starts making silly decisions. I ideally want to keep them off my side of the map. So we'll do basically whatever we can to accomplish that. Poison plus cannon does a pretty solid job. We'll throw Dark Prince out there to clean up. He'll come over and help with the hog ride. Oh, look, anything, basically. We'll take that out. We'll throw Musketeer behind this. This might go a long while, we'll see. Cannon on that Ice Wizard may or may not help. We'll find out. And so I'm basically just fighting uphill this entire battle. We want to get the Witch out as quick as possible. Basically because she's the only thing that can really sustain this sort of a push. We got 51 seconds. They managed to get the last couple of pieces off of my tower. That was pretty much going to happen unless that guy just got really unlucky. So we're in a situation we should have seen coming for us, and the question is, can we get out of it? We got plenty of damage on the giant. Let's see what we can do as far as push goes. And then this time they didn't play the barbarians nearly as smart, so this could turn out really well. Hog Rider can go out, except for that I misclicked like crazy, and I'm going to avoid swearing by just having a small amount of self-control. But only a small amount. So the difference between that and this is that I would have gotten closer by not throwing down that cannon. No guarantees that I would have won, and as I said, that's why I'm not going to just sit there and go because, there's no reason for it. Boop, 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 boop. My god, people are giving Hog Rider in my clan. What are they, crazy? By that I mean they're totally not crazy. They're just generous and nice. It's rough. Rough life for me. So we're going to make this next one my last one. We're at 23-49. I'm playing like I know how to play this game. I know how to play my defense a little bit. I'm probably showing off that I have some coherency about positioning and timing. Awesome. I don't know. It's nice, because I was getting really close to hitting the 2,000 mark yesterday. I was like, oh no, don't do that. You'll never dig yourself out of that hole. Obviously, Legendary Arena takes a while to get through, or Royal Arena does. But, at the same time, you get to play against everything in the game, so it's kind of its own reward. I don't know. That's the way I see it. I got no problem admitting that some people might see it differently. And that's just because, as I said, everybody's got different ways they like to go about it. I personally like the confrontational nature of this game. I got no problem with that. I think that, figuring out how to fight against everything is a great way to play the game. And so, just because it gets nasty and competitive doesn't mean that we have to be nasty and get, super aggressive. We can just enjoy it the time. And that's honestly, the biggest reason I like this game is it's pleasant. Dark Prince, you are probably not going to go anywhere. We'll probably Witch and Hog Rider on the right-hand side because we've done a little bit more damage over there. Boop, boop, boo. And by that I mean we're going to Witch and Cannon. Nah, I won't be getting there in time. We'll throw more garbage at it. They don't have a freeze. I'm saved. Wall Destruction. Oh, that's arrows. Anyway, hopefully she'll get some more skeletons out to help out this hog ride. She didn't even get that out. That's unfortunate. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Bing, bing, bing. So now we're actually tied up. We'll focus on the left-hand side because that's where they're focusing. Unless we've got a good, basically a good split push opportunity, we'll just see if we can jam everything down the left-hand side. That'll help us out. Musketeer can go down, Dark Prince can go down, and part of me wants to poison them, but I think we'll save that. Cannon is currently tanking for me, good job. Bink, bink, bink. Ooh, bad placement, Musketeer, you're letting them splash on that tower. You can't be letting them do that. So this is what I was talking about with a good reason to split push. They're going to start throwing everything they've got on the left-hand side. All I got... Oh, God. And there's that. That. Minion horde. Okay, so we're split pushing pretty hard. It doesn't seem to be phasing them too much, so we're playing against somebody who's not just completely terrible. We're going to poison, and then we are going to freeze. And then, yeah. Okay, so poison will take care of most of that horde. I am hoping it'll get the damage done in time. Freeze will take care of that. They are honestly not giving me any ability to counter push. It stinks. And with 31 seconds left, it's really hard to see there being really a way out of this. There is enough damage on either tower that they could legitimately take either. I think they can get it with their next arrows. Sucks for me. There it is. Anyway, not a high note, but as I said, it was close enough. It started to go downhill. My split push didn't work the way I wanted it to. That's, as I said, split pushes. It's a technique you have to use appropriately or you suck at it. Anyway, we'll call that done for the day. Let's see here. I know I got some basically stuff up for the weekend, so I might not be back until the beginning of next week. I apologize for that. I'll see what I can do as far as getting some streams off during the weekend. If you like what I'm doing, please do like, subscribe, leave comments. That does help me grow as a channel. I hope you guys like what I'm doing. Commentary I try to keep consistent and at least positive and helpful. Usually I try to make sure that my play doesn't look like complete garbage so that you can learn something from it too, if that's what you're here for. And as I said, I'm trying to hopefully foster positivity of this game. It's got a very positive vibe to it, regardless of the fact that people are going for the throat all the time, and just mixing up and mashing it up. So I applaud Supercell for making such a good game. We've been playing this basically since it started, and there's no reason for us to transition to basically anything else and abandon it, because it's honestly the best game that's on the market right now. I honestly have almost ignored PC at this point because mobile is so good in this game, and that's awesome. So congratulations, everybody who's making all of the claims that mobile is the new frontier. I mean, sure, probably, but they got to keep it up. Like, you need another game like this in like 2 or 3 years, quite honestly, easily, to keep the market alive. But this game is easily going to cruise for the next year so long as they don't F up these patch cycles. This last patch was a success. Until we see the true fallout of it in like 2 or 3 weeks, we won't honestly know how everything goes top to bottom, especially with the new units and the new legendaries. But honestly, it looks like they've actually put forth a patch that didn't immediately like swing one way, like MOBA patches do, where you're just like, oh sweet, now XYZ is OP as hell, and I get to basically wait another 3 or 4 weeks for them to fix the mess that they just threw me into, because they basically just threw something that you hate. So, like, big kudos. I'm like very happy with this game, and hopefully you guys are enjoying it too. This is as I said, this is definitely the sort of game I want to play, and they've done such a good job of putting it together that's what I'm just going to keep playing. So as I said, like, subscribe, that sort of stuff. All it does is help me out, and helps me get more viewers so we can have more interaction, we can talk about it more, and hopefully we'll be able to do even more with this game in the future. This is Aero for N2 Mobile Games. We're doing Clash Royale. We're always doing Clash Royale. I don't think that we're going to start doing anything else anytime soon. And hopefully you'll just come back for more. You guys have a good day. Bye.